The Legend of the Fat Princess. Once upon a time, in the land of Titania, there lived two princesses who loved to play together in the Black Forest. One day, while walking through the woods, they came across a most mysterious sight. It was a cake growing out of the ground. Enticed by the frosting-covered wonder, the princesses could not resist a quick taste, followed by a bite, and then a whole slice. In the blink of an eye, the princesses were overwhelmed by the intense yumminess. Hours later, when the princesses failed to return home, the kings became worried and sent search parties into the forest. The princesses were soon found, but the kings were shocked by the sight that met their eyes. "They are going to explode!" cried the kings. "Stop them! Stop them!" Returning to their castles, the kings agreed the cake must be cursed, and no one in Titania should be allowed to eat it ever again. Little did they know the surprise they would receive the very next morning.
Sire, sire, the princess! She won't stop eating! She says she's still starving. The only way we can stop her stomach from rumbling is by feeding her the forbidden cake.
The king sighed. "Send men to the forest. Tell them to bring all the cake they can carry." Months passed and nothing in Titania changed. The princess ate and ate while the king despaired. Then one day, a message arrived from a neighboring kingdom. "Huzzah!" cried the king. "Good news, good news! Prince Albert is coming to choose a bride. Once he kisses the princess, the curse of the Black Forest will be broken forever."
Sire, what happens if the prince chooses the other princess?
"No, no, no," said the king. "We can't let that happen. Let me think. That's it! I have a cunning plan. We shall kidnap their princess in the dead of night and hold her captive until after the wedding. Prince Albert will marry my daughter, and then we can all return once more to a less sugary diet." That night, a shadowy group of figures crept silently into the enemy castle. They emerged moments later, carrying a large wriggling sack. The next morning, the sound of screams broke the silence of the castle halls.
Sire, sire, the princess! She's gone!
"What? The princess is gone? How did she escape from the dungeon?"
No, sire, the prisoner is still under lock and key. Your daughter is missing.
"What?" screamed the king. "Well, she can't have gone far, you fool! She's the size of a bloody house!"
Oh, it gets worse, sire. We found a thick trail of cake crumbs leading through the forest and into the enemy castle.
"Why, those sneaky little buggers! This means war!" The king sent army after army in a desperate attempt to rescue their daughters. Many brave warriors perished, but every time a princess was on the verge of being rescued, the other side would scoop her up and hide her deeper within one of the many castles throughout the land. In a last-ditch attempt to end the war before Prince Albert's arrival, the king gathered all of his remaining men, his bravest and most experienced warriors, and stormed the enemy castle. The battle was intense, and the casualties were high. But after many hours, the king's men finally breached the enemy castle walls. With the princess liberated, the king's men ran as fast as their legs would carry them back to the castle. No sooner had they set foot on the drawbridge than the battlement horns cried out, signaling the arrival of Prince Albert and his court. As the prince and his aides entered the grand hall, heads turned, and so did a few stomachs, at the sight of the neighboring prince.
"What a beautiful lady!"
exclaimed the prince.
"Ooh, he's gorgeous!"
cried the princess, running into Prince Albert's arms. "Hooray! The curse is broken!" cried the king.
"What curse?"
inquired Prince Albert. "The curse of the Black Forest cake. It transforms you into a mindless cake-eating zombie."
There's no curse,
declared Prince Albert.
Have you tried that stuff? It's delicious.
"Oh!" exclaimed the king. But the cake, the forest, the eating, kidnap-fighting, blood, frosting, war, frosting, and oh dear."